Hi there, good morning. My name's Jason and I'm one half of the Highwaymen.
Good morning, everybody. And I'm the other half. My name's Steve. Good to see you. Jay, what are we talking about today, my friend?
Well, today, mate, I thought we would talk about male grooming and the rise of the metrosexual. Okay. And for those of you that don't know what a metrosexual means, it's nothing to do with your sexual identity. It basically means men that kind of take care of themselves, who look after themselves, maybe more along the ilk of what we would imagine women doing as far as male grooming is concerned. What's your male grooming routine, Steve? Tell me.
Well, it used to be zero, if I'm brutally honest, Jay. But since growing the old beard, I do take care of that. So now, yes, I have these little clipper things. So I do like to get that, and I've got some beard oil that goes in.
Okay.
And I do have some L'Oreal. I don't know quite what you'd call it, but put it on wrinkles and you look 50 years younger. Which it clearly doesn't work, but I must confess I do get quite dry skin on my forehead, and every now and again. But it's when I remember. I've got to say, I don't get up in the morning, spend half an hour in the bathroom making sure that I look all meticulous.
Yeah, not like brushing your teeth.
No, exactly. To me, exactly. That is basically it, mate. I go in, I brush my teeth. My hair tends to be absolutely everywhere other than where it's meant to be. I don't comb my hair at all. I literally wet it, shove my fingers through it, brush my teeth, do me little dentally bits and bobs, and then, yes, admittedly, I daily put a bit of oil in the old beard, and probably once every sort of 4 or 5 days, I just sort of neaten it up with the old trimmers.
I think there's a little bit more to this story with you though, because one thing I noticed since we're doing this is obviously your hair always looks neat and tidy. But there's a little bit of a story going back a few years to a little trip in Turkey, isn't it, Steve? Now, do you want me to tell this or for you? I'm going to tell this. I'm going to tell this. So I'd not seen Steve for years and years and years. And my brother-in-law got married and we went on his stag do to Turkey, didn't we? And Steve's, well, we were just Steve normally, you just kind of like rock up, didn't you? You know what I mean? Anyway, we were in Turkey and the lads decided to take you for a haircut, didn't they? Because you weren't the sort of person.
Midnight, Jay.
You weren't. Yeah, it was really late at night. You weren't the sort of person to go have a haircut, and they took you for a haircut, and it literally took 10 years off you, didn't it?
Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. I do have a photograph somewhere of that, which I'll send you. Literally in the barber, and it was midnight, and we were all in a bar. We were all sat outside. How many of us was it? Probably 12 of us, was there? 10 or 12, something. And literally next door, very random, next door to this bar was a barber's, and they were open. And so it was like in we go. And believe it or not, Chris still sees that barber. He's moved to Bolton.
Oh, really? That's mad, isn't it? The thing is, though, I would say that you probably didn't have your hair cut very often beforehand. Is that right?
No.
Absolutely. Was that the turning point for you? I mean, since then, is that the turning point where you sort of said, I'm going to get it done every couple of weeks, or not?
Wow, do you know, mate? I've never thought about that, but do you know what? I bet it is.
Yeah,
I bet it was. Do you remember? I mean, we're going to go back even further in time now to the early 90s, where I used to have what you used to call them wings. Or Greg used to call them, because my hair.
No, we used to call them twigs. It was at the back. We used to say you've got twigs at the back of your hair. It was twigs. Steve's got twigs at the back of his hair. That's what I remember. Yeah. No, but
and I had a moustache. It was a Pringle moustache.
I have actually got the moustache wax somewhere. I'm very much the same as you. I've got 3 daughters, so Christmas comes and I have got a cupboard full of products that I never use. And
Manscaping products.
Well, the lotions for your face and stuff. But I have to say, we were in Brighton a couple of weeks ago, and there was one photo when I'm smiling, and I can actually see the lines all the way down not just on my forehead, all the way down my face as I smile. They're kind of starting to come down onto my cheeks now. don't know if you can see her in this light, but and literally got home and said, right, I'm going to start using my moisturizer. And I think I've used it in 2 weeks twice now. But I remember going back to the early 30s, being in the gym, and I was in the changing rooms getting changed. And there's these two young lads in their probably early 20s, probably 10 years younger than me, talking about what facial moisturizers they're using. And I was kind of sniggering to myself, thinking, oh, you know, these young pups, you know, how times have changed now. And now I'm in my 30s and I'm an older man. They talk about which moisture, and I was kind of chuckling to myself. And then go forward a couple of years, and they had because I used to go to one of the bigger chains, the David Lloyd, one of the posher chains here, and they had these people coming in trying to sell beauty products to women. And one of the things they did, they had like this gun that measured the collagen in your face to see how you would age. Basically, that was the whole concept of it. They measured the collagen and said how you would age. And one of the girls in the gym persuaded me to go and have this test done. Well, anyway, she did the gun on me. She's, oh my God, I've never seen reading so bad as I've seen on you. By PS, would you like to buy a face cream for 90 quid? And it was literally 90 quid. And I'm like, I think I'll pass. But I did go down to Boots literally the next day and bought every single facial moisturizer. And I used to be, honestly, really good at not only face moisturizer, body moisturizer in my 30s and 30s and early 40s. And then you get to the point where you just think, oh, do you know what, I'm going to get old. I don't give a shit. But you know, Manscaping now, I mean, people shave their arms, they shave their legs, they pedicures, manicures. And the thing that I really don't like to see on a bloke is eyebrow when they've got like women's eyebrows. You know, like when they're all like tweaked, and you not noticed that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all kind of tweaked and perfectly done. I mean, you know, if I had a unibrow, you know, I would definitely be plucking the middle of that out as often as I could. But I'm at the age now where I do have to shave my eyebrows. Do you?
Of course. And my ears.
Yeah, you shave your eyebrows and your ears and your nose. That becomes a thing. Just because they get, you know, end up like Dennis Healer with super long eyebrows. So shaving the eyebrows is good. I have shaved my arms and everything before. I've done that.
Really?
Yeah. When I was a lot fitter, I've always shaved my chest and all that kind of stuff. And when I was a lot fitter, I always used to do it because I used to think it made the muscles look better. You know, that was kind of goes back to a bodybuilding thing. So, and obviously the other thing that people do, I know people get the back waxed. I know a couple of people. I know
back cracking. What is it?
Back sack and crack. There's a friend of mine whose nickname is the Love Monkey because he is literally like he's wearing a fur suit. And I know he goes and gets his back and everything white. You know, literally, he looks like if you saw him without any clothes on, you'd think he was wearing a suit,
a onesie,
little furry onesie. Yeah.
So plushies and furries.
Yeah, back to plushies and furries. But yeah, so you know, so I mean, it's a big industry now as well. You know, male grooming products are a massive industry. I think it's bigger than the women's industry now because you know we're allowed to take care of ourselves. And going back to the haircut thing, my mum used to always like watching old 80s quiz shows. You know, like Blankety Blank and what's the other one with Les Dennis. Family Fortunes. Family Fortunes, was it?
Family Fortunes.
Yeah. But if you look at the blokes in there, they were a bit like get a haircut once every 6 months. You could tell.
Yeah.
You know, like you go on telly. Like if you go on telly tomorrow, you'd probably be down the barber's today, getting it all done, getting your beard done, getting it all nicely shaved in and all the rest of it, because you got on telly. Whereas there, it was like no one ever really bothered. I mean, I've always had my hair cut probably weekly. I used to go every week, 2 weekly maximum. It was quite funny because if you go back to our early videos, you see I had much longer hair, and I grew my hair for the first time ever. And it was so hard in the beginning not to just go back and get it all cut off because I was so used to just having it cut and coiffed all the time. Yeah, literally every week I'd go to the barbers, every single week, just for a little trim. Depends what haircut I had as well. Had Mohican for a while, and that really needed kind of a lot of work. And even during lockdown, when you couldn't get a haircut, I actually I was doing my own. I'd had a bit like a Peaky Blinders cut, so it was very like just one line all the way around, and I'd just get my clippers on it, and and just shave it all up because I hated it being too long. Now, I mean, last time before I had the haircut now, I went 5 weeks, which is unusual for me. But because I've been so used to having it long with the 5 week, with the longer hair, it doesn't bother me so much if it looks a little bit untidy. Not untidy,
Do
but
you think as well, though, Jay? I've just been thinking about this. Do you think that the way that we work has changed so dramatically that men can afford to do this? So it wasn't so long ago. I'm thinking of my own life, and since you said, was that a turning point? That's really weird. That's got some cogs whirring. And then I started to think, well, why wouldn't I be bothered before? Well, remember, my life was on motorcycles. I was out at sea. I was doing all the so things.
Yeah, but you still had a very very customer facing role. So what you look like did matter.
Yeah, but what about it's not like when a bloke goes down the mine anymore. So the blokes get up, go down the mine, they work in the foundry, or they work on the land, or they do whatever. A lot of the jobs
it's all
now
manual work
on computers. They're in an environment where it actually probably does make it different. Let's be brutally honest. It wouldn't have mattered how much bloody stuff I'd have plastered over my face, doing half the things that I used to do. It wouldn't have made any difference. But now, maybe because of the way that we work, that's more worth doing.
The thing is, you're bombarded with images now of attractive looking blokes in they're in their underpants. In their underpants, look down, looking all muscly on the pictures, and finally coiffed and all the rest of it. Yeah, there you go, and all the rest of it. So you are used to seeing that. So therefore, you kind of try and emulate that. That's kind of one of the things that we do. And the other thing, go back to the haircut thing. It used to be that you used to go to the barbers and used to have to sit probably an hour and a half before you even got a haircut, because there was no booking system and no appointments. If you went for a barber, you literally just sat and wait. And
every male barber was called Sweeney Todd. They were all called Sweeney Todd.
Well, my uncle was a barber, and so when I was younger, my mum used to kind of take us up there in the evening when it all closed, and we'd go in. But then sometimes, as I got older, you'd go down in the day, and literally, especially like a Saturday morning, there'd be people like standing out the door, like queuing out the door.
That was your day done. That was it.
That was it. So you went there, and at 12 o'clock, he kind of closed the curtains and everything, and but there was still like a row of people in, and he had this big, massive bench seat which would fit about 8 people on, and literally there'd be people queuing out the door.
Can I just say as well? You've just sparked another, because I remember in Oadby doing exactly that, Sweeney Todd bob down there. And it was one of the very few places where you could buy Durex condoms.
Yes, they always sold condoms. Something for the weekend, sir. Wasn't that the saying? And they had all those like photographs of blokes with really like Saturday Night Fever hair, didn't they? I think my uncle used to have the old polystyrene tiles that used to hang on the ceiling.
Yeah,
well, he'd like hang them from the ceiling like a Christmas decoration sort of thing, with a photograph on each side. So as the wind went round, you get a photo of one person or the other.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he used to do ear piercing as well. Yeah, he was like, when the ear piercing first came out, he was one of the first people to have an ear piercing, and they used to do ear piercing.
Historically, barbers were surgeons.
Were
they? Surgeons. Yeah, going back to
a bit of a side job.
That's why, incidentally, if ever you've wondered, a barber's pole is red and white. That's blood and bandages.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you have something in the matter, and they used to do amputations and all sorts of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the barbers.
Jack of all trades.
The pole is red and white. Yeah.
Well, there you go. So I am going to start using my moisturizers a lot more. I'm like you. I don't comb my hair. Now, the other thing as well, and again, I never use shampoo.
Oh, I do.
See, I started to when I was growing my hair, I was suddenly all shampoo and conditioner and all the rest of it. I literally get in the shower, I use the shower gel on my hair, and then I wash myself with it, with the suds from my hair, basically. And I very, very rarely use shampoo. Occasionally I will shampoo and condition it, but I just don't use it. I just don't have time for that shit. I don't have time for, like, considering some of the crazy hairstyles I've had over the years. I never really took a lot of time with my hair. I just can't, I literally I'm like, don't comb it. I'll towel dry it. I'll stick a bit of product in it and done. And that's it. I don't very often take time with my hair. Very occasionally I will blow dry it and then stick loads of hairspray in it and do something crazy and make it like 6 foot tall. I've done that quite a few times, but don't very often do that. And the beard thing as well. The scruffy beard's kind of the thing as well. I've got the beard trimmers.
Though, Joe,
yeah,
I gotta say, and you know what? I would welcome and love comments from this. The bottom line is, I'm 60 this year. You ain't a million miles away behind me.
No.
Frankly, I think we look pretty freaking good, despite not using any.
Yeah, I think you know, I've always saying that I always looked old for my age when I was younger. Do you remember when I was a lot younger? People, I remember going in the petrol station once and saying, "Oh, I feel really old today," and I was only 18, and the girl behind the thing said to me, "Oh, come on, you can't be any older than 30." I'm like, "What?" So I always looked really old for my age, and then I got to a stage where I just started to seem to look younger for my age. I think it's sort of catching up on me a bit now. Obviously, the grey hair sort of gives it away. But the thing is about all these lotions and potions, unless you do half your face with it and leave half, you're never really going to know whether it works. You know, nobody really knows. I mean, my mum used oil of Ulay every day of her life. You know, when she got to 80, she still looked bloody 80. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, what difference it makes?
Thousands of pounds worse off.
Yeah. So we don't really know how much difference it makes. I'm sure it does make a little bit of a difference. I've seen photographs of people who maybe have driving jobs for the whole life, you know, in a sunny country, and obviously one half of the face is out the window.
Oh yeah.
And then you can sort of see it, and then you get these adverts as well where you get people. We're in America. And they have these little booths as you go around shopping and they're trying to flog you these creams. And this woman got this picture out, this old Chinese fella, and they said, "Oh, look, we've done half his face with the lotion, half without." And he, I mean, the difference is unbelievable. But it's got to be photoshopped. And I was just started taking the piss, going, "What did you do to that poor man?" Like making out like I didn't understand, like that she'd made him look really old. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, so male grooming. So will it change? I mean, I think I'm going to take you for a sack and crack one day, and we'll video it and post it.
Well, I'll look forward to that.
Yeah, that'll bring a tear to your eye, I'm sure. Yeah, can't be much fun, can it?
Probably bring a tear to the person that does it, Si.
Yeah, absolutely. God's true. Can you have a wipe down there first, Mr. Oliver? God's truth. Well, apparently, when you have that done, though, you know, you've obviously got to give full access. Apparently, it's not very dignified.
No, I can well imagine.
You know,
lay back, legs wide open.
It can't be very nice for the person. You know,
what would make you want to do that for a job? Can you imagine at the careers set? So you go to careers day at school, and you know, what would you like to do? Well, I think I'd rather like to be a waxer. You know, I really fancy seeing myself spreading hot wax over people and tearing them off with a blooming.
Well, actually, I could do that as long as it was female-only clients. You know.
Yeah, but you can't do that, can you? You can't do that. It's discrimination.
10 years ago, well, probably more than 10 years ago now, you could have, there wouldn't even, a bloke wasn't even walked in. Well, maybe Boy George with his friend Hamilton. Is it Hamilton who does his, did you not see him on I'm a Celebrity? He's, oh yes, I have a young Thai man come round every week and shave me completely, head to toe.
Oh dear.
So, there you go.
Sure.
Anyway, we'll leave that one there.
Yes. So what are we saying? Are we for it? Are we not for it?
I think it's good to look after yourself and have a pride in your appearance. You know, some people want to go a little bit further than others. That's fine. Just don't be doing the eyebrows, boys. It don't look good. It's not manly. No. You've got to look a bit manly still, haven't you? This is the thing.
Well, exactly. Women still do like a rugged man.
The other thing I'm going to confess to now, while I'm thinking about it before we go, fake tan. Now, I did go for a stage of fake tanning 2 or 3 times a week because I just didn't like looking white. So I was constantly brown because I was always fake tanning. And I used to be at the gym. And I used to be at the gym and I'm there, and everyone's walking in, I've got my fake tanning mitt out, and I don't care. Yeah, I don't care.
Well, do you know what? Good for you for being able to stand up in front of everybody and say that. And again, how bizarre how times have changed. Again, going back to the sort of like the the 1700s, everybody wanted to look pale. So anybody, they used to put white all over their faces, because a pasty complexion showed that they were healthy. And how bizarre! There you go. And now we all lay out in the sun, want to look as dark as we can,
as brown as we can. And look, I think I need a tan. Looking at me, you look a bit more tan than I do. I don't know if it's like, look, see, I can change my light. Oh, I'm tan.
Oh,
look, there you go. That's better. Now I've got a bit of colour. Bit of colour. There you go. Right, we'll leave that one there. Thank you very much for watching, even. We are the Highwaymen. We hope you liked it. We'd like you to like the channel. We'd like you to subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, Steve, press the bell end.
Press that bell end.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.